How to become emotionally resilient, a Stoic reflection. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. 1. The nature of the uncontrollable. To become emotionally resilient, one must first come to terms with a basic Stoic truth: much of life is beyond your control. The weather, the opinions of others, the economy, the behavior of family, the unexpected betrayal, the sudden loss, none of these lie within your absolute domain. Yet, people spend vast amounts of energy reacting emotionally to these things as though their suffering can somehow bend the world back into order. A Stoic, however, begins differently. He asks, what is mine to control? The answer is simple, yet profound: your judgments, your choices, your response. The battlefield of emotional resilience is not the world, it is your perception of the world. To train your mind to distinguish between what is within and what is beyond your influence is to begin the journey toward inner strength. 2. Train the mind, do not indulge it. Resilience does not come from comfort. The Stoics taught premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, not to frighten themselves, but to prepare their minds for the inevitable hardships of life. They would imagine the loss of possessions, status, health, even loved ones. Why? Because to be surprised by misfortune is to suffer it twice, first in reality, and then in unpreparedness. To become emotionally resilient, you must train your mind like a soldier. Wake each day and expect friction. Expect challenges. Expect misunderstandings and disappointments. And when they come, you will not be shaken, you will only nod, as if welcoming an old friend. The mind that is trained to endure will not shatter under the weight of difficulty. But the mind that seeks ease and validation will break at the first sign of discomfort. 3. Emotions are not enemies, but they are not masters. You will feel anger. You will feel sadness. You will feel fear. These are not signs of weakness, they are part of the human condition. Even the great Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius admitted to struggling with his emotions. But he did not obey them. He examined them. Resilience is not the absence of emotion, it is the ability to observe your emotions without being enslaved by them. Feel the anger, but ask yourself, what has this anger come to teach me? Feel the fear, but challenge it, what part of this fear is real, and what part is imagined? When you become the observer of your emotions, rather than their hostage, you begin to build an inner fortress no storm can breach. 3. Accept fate, then act with excellence. Another pillar of Stoic resilience is amor fati, the love of fate. It is not enough to accept what happens, one must embrace it. Even suffering. Even injustice. Even loss. Why? Because it is happening. And to resist reality is to court madness. But acceptance is not passivity. Once you accept what is, you must act with excellence within it. The Stoic does not say, I cannot control the storm, so I will do nothing. He says, I cannot control the storm, but I will steer my ship with skill. Emotional resilience lies in that balance, between radical acceptance of what is, and disciplined action toward what can be changed. 5. Practice voluntary hardship. The body grows strong through stress. The same is true of the mind. A Stoic will deliberately go without comfort to remind himself that he does not need what the world tells him he must have. He will fast. He will sleep on the floor. He will walk instead of ride. He will wear simple clothes. Why? Because when hardship arrives, as it surely will, he will not panic. He will recognize it as something familiar. The emotionally resilient person does not crumble when luxury is stripped away. He remains composed, because he has learned that his strength does not come from external things, it comes from within. 6. Surround yourself with order, not chaos. Discipline in your environment is discipline in your soul. Clean your space. Rise early. Speak less. Listen more. Spend time in reflection. Engage with people who elevate your thoughts. Avoid the noise of gossip, of endless digital distraction, of opinions that cloud your clarity. Resilience is not built in moments of crisis. It is revealed there. It is built in the quiet, daily habits that shape your character. You will not stand firm in the storm if your life is built on disorder. Create a life that resembles your ideals, then you will not be shaken when tested. 6. Death as a compass. To a Stoic, death is not a horror, it is a teacher. When you remember that you are mortal, you begin to live with urgency. You stop wasting time on petty grievances and fleeting dramas. You realize that most things do not deserve your reaction. You become emotionally resilient not out of coldness, but out of clarity. Memento mori, remember you must die. This is not to sadden you, but to wake you. To remind you that you do not have time to waste being owned by your emotions. Live with depth. Speak with truth. Act with courage. The clock is ticking. 7. Final reflection. To become emotionally resilient is not to become hard. It is to become wise. It is to learn the ancient lesson, that what happens outside you cannot truly touch you, unless you invite it in. That pain and loss and change are inevitable, but suffering is optional. Resilience is a quiet, steady flame. It is built in stillness. It is practiced in adversity. And it becomes your power in the face of life's uncertainty. So when the world shakes, you do not. When others rage, you remain calm. When life disappoints, you press forward. Not because you feel nothing, but because you have trained your soul to feel everything and still stand. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share.